John Carter walked slowly along the bright streets of Xylora, a world he had never imagined seeing before. Colorful buildings lined the roads, glowing gently as though made from soft light. The air was warm but pleasant, filled with the scent of strange flowers and the buzz of conversations from alien beings he had only recently met. Although he missed Earth, he felt lucky to be here, experiencing something new and amazing. He had arrived on Xylora with a research team, hoping to learn about new worlds and the creatures that live there. But now his team had returned to Earth, and he had stayed behind to finish his work. The decision had seemed exciting at first, an adventure waiting to unfold, but now he was starting to feel lonely. John wondered if he had made the right choice. He paused for a moment, looking at the busy marketplace ahead of him. It was bustling with life as Xylorans moved around gracefully. Their slender figures were covered in bright clothing, shimmering under the planet's golden sun. Their faces, delicate and elegant, had features similar enough to humans to make him feel comfortable, yet alien enough to fascinate him. John's eyes landed on one particular stall, its table filled with glowing objects that looked like precious stones. He walked towards it, curious to see what they were. As he approached, a voice greeted him warmly. John looked up and saw a Xyloran woman standing behind the stall. Her skin had a gentle lavender hue, and her large eyes sparkled like deep pools of water. "Welcome," she said softly, her voice musical and pleasant. "You must be the human everyone has talked about." John smiled awkwardly, feeling slightly embarrassed but also pleased. "Yes, that's me. I'm John Carter." She returned his smile warmly, stepping around the stall to meet him. "My name is Ilara. It is nice to meet you, John Carter." "The pleasure is mine," he replied, feeling his cheeks flush slightly. Ilara had a kind and inviting manner, and John felt immediately at ease with her. "I hear you have stayed on our planet." "Alone?" Ilara said, tilting her head slightly as she spoke. "That is very brave." John chuckled softly. "Or maybe foolish. But it seemed like a good idea at the time." Ilara laughed gently, the sound like delicate chimes. "Sometimes the bravest decisions are a little foolish." John nodded thoughtfully. "I suppose that's true." Ilara reached behind her stall and picked up a small, smooth device that glowed softly with a gentle blue light. She held it out towards him. "Here, John, please take this. It is a small gift." John hesitated for a moment, unsure if accepting. It was polite. Seeing her kind expression, he decided to accept. "Thank you," he said, taking the device carefully in his hand. It felt warm and pleasant against his skin, and he examined it curiously. "What is it?" he asked, turning it over gently. "Just something special for my people," Ilara replied with a mysterious smile. "Try touching that small indentation on the side." John followed her instructions, pressing gently against the marked area. Immediately, the device emitted a soft pulse of light, bathing them both in a soft glow. Surprised, John looked at Ilara, who was smiling broadly. Around them, other Xylorans paused and began clapping happily. "What just happened?" John asked, feeling confused and slightly concerned. Ilara laughed lightly, her eyes twinkling with amusement. "You have just passed the first part of our marriage compatibility test." John stared at her, completely stunned. "Marriage test? I didn't know. I mean—" "Do not worry," Ilara reassured him quickly, her smile warm and comforting. "It is simply our custom. When two people share the device's glow, it means there is potential for a deep connection." John felt his face grow hotter as he realized what had happened. He had unknowingly engaged in a local custom. "I'm sorry," he stammered, looking around. Nervously at the smiling faces of the Xylorans nearby, Ilara gently touched his arm, calming him instantly. "There is nothing to be sorry about, John. It is a joyful moment. You do not have to marry me immediately," she joked softly. Trying to lighten the mood, John laughed nervously, rubbing the back of his neck. "I suppose that's a relief," he joked, back, already feeling less embarrassed. But what does this mean exactly? Elara stepped closer to him, her expression thoughtful. It means we are considered compatible partners, at least by our customs. We will need to speak with the council. They will explain everything clearly. The council? John repeated, feeling slightly worried again. Yes, the High Council of Xylora, Elara explained patiently. They will decide how we proceed from here. But do not worry, she added quickly, noticing his expression. It is nothing bad. Just formalities. John nodded slowly, trying to absorb what he had just heard. He had not expected this kind of situation when he decided to explore the marketplace. But somehow, standing beside Elara, he felt less afraid and more intrigued by this strange new twist in his adventure. Elara gently guided John through the marketplace, other Xylorans nodding and smiling warmly at them. He felt his anxiety slowly fade away, replaced by curiosity about what would happen next. They soon reached a large building made of shimmering crystal, its high arches and pillars beautiful and impressive. Elara led John inside, guiding him through corridors until they reached a spacious chamber. Inside several elder Xylorans, their faces calm and wise. Welcome, John Carter, one elder said, his voice kind but firm. We have heard about your encounter. This is an important event. John took a deep breath, steadying himself. Thank you. I didn't intend to cause any trouble. You have caused no trouble, another elder reassured him gently. But an interspecies marriage is something new for us. We must discuss and decide carefully. John glanced at Elara, who gave him an encouraging smile. I understand, he replied respectfully. I'll cooperate in any way I can. The elders nodded in approval, seeming pleased with his answer. One of them leaned forward slightly, his gaze thoughtful. John, do you feel any connection to Elara? John hesitated briefly, glancing at her. Elara looked at him calmly, her eyes full of kindness and warmth. He considered carefully before answering honestly. Yes, he said slowly. Even though we just met, I feel very comfortable with her. She has made me feel welcomed and less alone. Elara smiled softly, clearly pleased by his words. The elders exchanged looks, nodding thoughtfully. Very well, the elder concluded gently. We will arrange 3 more trials to ensure this union will benefit both of you and our people. If you pass, the marriage will be approved. John felt his heart speed up at the thought of the trials. But seeing Elara's reassuring smile, he found himself eager rather than scared. I will do my best, he promised firmly. We believe you will, the elder replied warmly. For now, enjoy our hospitality. John and Elara thanked the council and left the chamber together. Outside, Elara touched John's hand gently, smiling brightly. We have many exciting things ahead, she told him softly. John smiled back, feeling his heart warm. Suddenly, his adventure on Xylora felt more exciting than ever. John woke early the next morning, the soft glow of Xylora's sun gently filling his room. He stretched and sat up slowly, still amazed at the comfortable, alien-designed furniture and the view outside. His thoughts quickly returned to Elara and the council meeting from the day before. His heart raced slightly at the memory. A mixture of excitement and nervousness. After dressing, John stepped outside into the warm sunlight. He was staying in a guest house provided by the Xylorans, close to the central plaza. The city was already busy, its residents moving gracefully through their daily tasks. He had just begun walking toward the marketplace when he saw Elara approaching him, smiling brightly. Good morning, John, she greeted him warmly. Her lavender skin shone softly in the morning sun, making her look even more beautiful. Good morning, Elara, John replied, feeling pleased to see her again. Did you rest well? I did, she answered softly, her eyes sparkling gently. And you? John nodded, smiling. Very well, thank you. I'm curious about these trials they mentioned. Do you know what they'll involve? Elara's smile became thoughtful. As they began walking slowly together, toward the marketplace. Each trial is designed to test something important: courage, wisdom, and empathy. They want to ensure we will be strong together. John felt a little nervous again, but quickly pushed the feeling aside. "That makes sense," he said, trying to sound confident. "Have there been trials like these before, between different species?" "Never," Elara admitted, looking slightly concerned. "This is the first time, John, but I believe in you." John smiled gratefully, feeling his confidence grow at her words. They continued walking, arriving soon at a large open space near the edge of the marketplace. The area was crowded, many Xylorans gathering excitedly, clearly awaiting the first trial. One elder from the council stepped forward, addressing everyone calmly. "Today, John Carter will begin his trials," he announced clearly. "The first trial is one of courage. He must retrieve the crystal of Zoran from the caves beyond the city." The crowd murmured quietly, clearly impressed by the challenge. John glanced nervously at Elara, who nodded reassuringly. "Be brave," she encouraged gently, touching his arm softly. "Remember, you are not alone." Feeling heartened by her support, John stepped forward and nodded to the elder. "I'm ready." A small group led John and Elara to the caves outside the city limits. The entrance was dark and looked intimidating, making John's heartbeat quicken. He paused to take a deep breath, calming himself before stepping into the darkness. Inside, the air was cool and damp. Strange, glowing moss covered the walls, casting eerie shadows around him. John moved slowly and carefully, aware of every small sound echoing through the caves. Soon, he heard scuttling noises ahead, making him stop abruptly. Giant insect-like creatures emerged slowly from the shadows, their large eyes glowing softly. John forced himself to remain calm, remembering Elara's encouraging words. He moved carefully around the creatures, trying to avoid disturbing them. They watched him curiously but made no aggressive moves. John continued deeper into the caves, determined to complete his task. Finally, he reached a large chamber where the crystal of Zoran rested upon a stone pedestal. It glowed brilliantly, casting a gentle blue light throughout the chamber. Approaching cautiously, John studied the area, noticing thin strands of silk-like threads stretched across the ground. Carefully stepping over them, he reached the pedestal safely and took the crystal gently. The moment he lifted the crystal, the chamber began shaking slightly. John heard loud clicks and scuttling sounds behind him, realizing he had triggered some alarm or trap. The creatures approached rapidly, clearly agitated, thinking quickly. John held the crystal high, noticing how its light calmed the creatures slightly. He moved slowly backward, holding it carefully in front of him. Gradually, the creatures seemed pacified, allowing John to pass without harm. Breathing a sigh of relief, he exited the cave safely. Outside, Elara waited anxiously. Seeing John emerge, she ran forward happily. "You did it!" she exclaimed joyfully, hugging him warmly. John laughed, relieved and proud. "I think I got lucky." "Not luck," Elara corrected firmly. "You show courage and quick thinking." They returned together to the city, where the elders and the waiting crowd welcomed them warmly. The elder who had announced the trial stepped forward, smiling broadly. "John Carter has passed the trial of courage," he declared proudly. Cheers erupted around him, filling John with happiness and pride. He glanced at Elara, who was smiling proudly at him, her eyes filled with warmth and affection. "Rest today," the elder continued kindly. "Tomorrow brings another trial." John thanked everyone gratefully and returned with Elara to the marketplace. They spent the rest of the day exploring together, talking about their lives and dreams. With each moment, John felt more certain he had made the right decision in staying. That night, John lay awake, thinking about Elara and the challenges still ahead. Though he felt nervous, he was more excited than afraid, eager to prove himself worthy of her and her people. In the morning, he rose early, feeling ready for whatever the next trial might bring. He met Elara near the plaza, both of them smiling happily as they approached the gathered Xylorans. The elder stepped forward once more, addressing John kindly. "Today you will face the trial of wisdom." John nodded calmly, feeling more prepared this time. I understand, he replied respectfully. They led John to a large, beautiful building where the trial would occur. Inside, he saw several intricate puzzles and strange devices laid out on tables. The elder explained carefully, you must solve each puzzle using logic and understanding. Take your time and remember that wisdom is patience. John approached the first puzzle, examining it closely. It involved arranging symbols to unlock a hidden compartment. At first, it seemed impossible, but he remembered the elder's words and calmed himself, thinking carefully. Slowly, he began to understand the pattern. Successfully unlocking the puzzle. Feeling encouraged, John continued through the puzzles, each one testing him differently. Some were easy, while others required deep thought. Yet he remained patient, working methodically through each one. After hours of careful thinking, John completed the final puzzle. The room filled with gentle applause as Alara and the elders entered, smiling broadly. You have shown wisdom and patience, John Carter, the elder said warmly. We are pleased and impressed. John felt his heart swell with happiness and pride, smiling at Alara, who stepped forward to congratulate him warmly. I knew you could do it, she whispered softly, her eyes bright with admiration. That evening, they celebrated together with the Xylarans, enjoying a feast and music beneath the starlit sky. As John laughed and shared stories, he felt genuinely welcomed, more certain than ever that he belonged here with the Lara. As the night drew to a close, John walked Alara home, feeling content and grateful for the experiences he'd had. Standing at her doorstep, he smiled warmly at her. Thank you, Alara, for believing in me. Alara reached out gently, touching his cheek softly. I always will, John. He returned her smile, feeling warmth spread through his heart. Good night, Alara. Good night, John, she replied softly, stepping inside. John returned to his guest house, feeling at peace and ready for the final trial. Whatever lay ahead, he knew he would face it with courage, wisdom, and the support of someone who truly cared for him. John woke the next morning, feeling refreshed and full of energy. Today was the final trial, the trial of empathy. Though unsure of what to expect, he trusted in his abilities and the support of his newfound friends, especially Elara. After preparing quickly, John stepped outside. The morning air was fresh, filled with gentle scents of Xylara's vibrant flowers. He walked toward the plaza, already bustling with activity. Xylarans waved and greeted him warmly as he passed, making him feel deeply welcome. He spotted Alara, waiting for him near the elders. Her soft lavender skin glowed in the gentle sunlight, and her warm smile instantly eased any lingering nervousness he felt. Good morning, John, Alara greeted him cheerfully. Good morning, John replied, smiling back. Are you ready for today? Yes, she said confidently, her eyes shining brightly. And I know you are too. Together, they approached the elders, who welcomed them warmly. The senior elder stepped forward, his face calm and kind. Today, you must show empathy, he explained gently. You will mediate a conflict between two factions in our community. This trial will test your understanding and compassion. John nodded. Respectfully, I understand. I will do my best. The elder smiled approvingly. We have faith in you, John. John and Alara followed the elders to a spacious hall near the center of the city. Inside, two groups of Xylarans stood facing each other, clearly upset. The atmosphere was tense, with raised voices filling the room. John listened carefully, observing their emotions and reactions. These two groups have disagreed for many cycles. The elder explained quietly. Their dispute centers around the sharing of a sacred spring used for rituals and daily needs. Each side believes their rights have been ignored. John nodded thoughtfully. He stepped forward, addressing the two factions calmly. My friends, he began gently, please tell me clearly and calmly about your concerns. I promise to listen carefully. 1. Xylaran, a tall male with deep blue skin named Taurine, stepped forward first. Our people have used the spring for generations, he explained firmly. Recently, the other group has begun using it excessively, leaving little water for our important rituals. Immediately, another Xyloran, a slender female with bright green skin named Nira, responded passionately. We have never intended harm. But our population has grown, and we need more water for daily life. John listened carefully, nodding slowly. Both needs are important, he acknowledged gently. Have you discussed solutions before? Tarin shook his head sadly. We have argued much, but solved nothing. Nira agreed, her expression frustrated. It has been difficult to find common ground. John paused thoughtfully, trying to understand both. Sighed deeply. Perhaps we need to rethink how the spring is shared, he suggested softly. What if we set specific times for rituals and daily use, ensuring fairness for everyone? Both factions looked uncertain but intrigued. Explain further. Tarin urged. For instance, John continued calmly, your group could reserve the spring for rituals at certain times each day, allowing Nira's group to access it for daily needs afterward. A schedule would help everyone share fairly. The room grew quiet. As they considered this idea, Nira stepped forward thoughtfully. We never thought of such a simple solution. It could work. Tarin nodded slowly, his expression softening. If both sides respect the schedule, it may resolve our conflict. John smiled gently, feeling relieved by their openness. Empathy is about understanding each other's needs. It takes effort from both sides, but it is possible. The two groups discussed quietly among themselves, their voices becoming calm and cooperative. After several moments, Tarin and Nira turned to John, smiling warmly. We agree, Tarin announced clearly. We will follow your solution and work together peacefully. Thank you, John, Nira added gratefully. Your wisdom has helped us greatly. Applause filled the hall, and John felt a deep sense of pride and happiness. Elara approached him, her eyes shining with admiration. You have done wonderfully, she praised softly. Your compassion has truly touched everyone. The elders joined them, smiling broadly. You have passed the final trial, John, the senior elder announced warmly. Your empathy and understanding prove you are a worthy partner for Elara and a respected member of our community. John's heart swelled with joy and gratitude. Thank you, he said sincerely. It is an honor. Preparations began immediately for the wedding, and the city buzzed excitedly. John and Elara spent the day together, their bond growing deeper as they talked and planned. Each moment felt special and meaningful, bringing them closer. As evening approached, John and Elara walked hand in hand through the quiet city streets, the gentle glow of twilight bathing everything in soft colors. I still cannot believe how far we have come, John admitted, smiling softly at Elara. It feels right, Elara replied warmly, squeezing his hand gently. I knew from the first moment we met. John stopped, turning to face her. You have changed. My life, Elara. I am happier than I ever thought possible. Elara smiled brightly, her eyes full of love. And you have changed mine, John. They stood quietly together, enjoying the peaceful evening. John knew he had found not just a partner, but a true companion, someone who understood and believed in him deeply. Together, they had faced every challenge, proving their strength as a team. As they returned to the guest house, John thought about their future. Though still unsure what awaited them, he felt confident knowing they would face it together. With Elara by his side, he knew nothing could stop them from building a life filled with joy, compassion, and unity. Tomorrow would mark the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with promise and excitement. But tonight, John felt perfectly content, grateful for the remarkable journey that had brought him to Elara and this beautiful, welcoming world. The morning sun rose gently over the horizon, painting the sky in soft shades of pink and gold. John awoke feeling more excited than ever. Today marked the start of a new life, his marriage to Elara. He stood at his window, gazing at the city, coming alive below, amazed at how quickly everything had changed. He dressed carefully, wearing traditional clothing provided by the Xylarans. The fabric was smooth and cool, fitting him comfortably. He took a deep breath, feeling a little nervous, but very happy. He stepped outside, greeted warmly by friendly Xylarans already gathering in the plaza to celebrate. Ilara was waiting near a beautiful fountain, her lavender skin glowing softly and her eyes sparkling with happiness. John walked towards her, smiling broadly. She looked more stunning than ever, wearing an elegant gown adorned with delicate crystals that shimmered in the sunlight. "You look wonderful," John told her sincerely, feeling his heart swell with joy. Ilara smiled warmly, her gaze filled with love. "And you look perfect, John." Together, they walked slowly toward the ceremonial area in the city's central square. The Xylarans had prepared everything beautifully, with flowers of all colors decorating every surface. Gentle music filled the air, creating an atmosphere of peace and celebration. The elder approached them, smiling kindly. "Today we gather to witness the union of John Carter and Ilara. This marriage symbolizes unity, hope, and the blending of our two peoples." John and Ilara stood together, facing each other as the elder began the ceremony. "John, do you promise to love and cherish Ilara, supporting her through every joy and challenge?" "I promise," John replied firmly, his voice steady and confident. "And Ilara, do you promise to love and cherish John, supporting him through every joy and challenge?" the elder asked warmly. "I promise," Ilara said softly, her eyes shining. "Then let your union be strong and filled with love," the elder concluded. Joyfully, the gathered crowd cheered happily, celebrating the beautiful moment. The celebration continued throughout the day, filled with laughter, music, and dancing. John felt deeply connected with the Xylarans, touched by their genuine joy and warmth. He realized he truly belonged here, feeling more at home than he ever had on Earth. As evening approached, the city quieted down, leaving John and Ilara to enjoy their first moments alone as a married couple. They walked together under the gentle glow of the stars, their hearts full of happiness and peace. "I never imagined this could happen," John admitted softly, glancing at Ilara lovingly. "When I first arrived here, I was nervous and uncertain. Now, everything feels perfect." Ilara squeezed his hand gently, smiling warmly. "You brought change, courage, and compassion. You have touched our lives deeply, John." John smiled back, feeling deeply grateful. "And you have given me a sense of belonging and love I never knew existed." They reached their new home, provided by the Xylarans as a gift. It was beautifully crafted, spacious yet cozy, and filled with delicate artwork and comfortable furnishings. Inside, everything was designed thoughtfully, making John feel welcome and at ease. Elara guided him to a terrace overlooking the city. They stood quietly together, admiring the beauty around them. The city's lights sparkled gently, illuminating the darkness softly. "I look forward to our life together," Ilara whispered gently, resting her head against his shoulder. "There is so much we can accomplish side by side." "I feel the same," John replied warmly, holding her close. "Together, we can face anything." In the days that followed, John settled into life on Xylora seamlessly. He spent time learning about Xylaran culture, traditions, and technology. Ilara patiently guided him through everything, sharing her knowledge and experiences openly. John admired her wisdom and kindness, growing closer to her each day. One afternoon, John and Ilara explored the outskirts of the city, discovering beautiful forests filled with luminous plants and wildlife. The peacefulness of nature filled John with a deep sense of wonder. "I never tire of this place," John said quietly, watching tiny glowing creatures flutter gracefully through the air. "It has always been my favorite spot," Ilara confessed softly. "It reminds me of the balance and beauty that surrounds us." "You have taught me so much," John admitted gratefully. "I see things differently now, understanding how everything connects." "You have shown me the beauty in openness and courage," Ilara replied warmly. Our union has brought new perspectives to both our lives. John felt his heart warm deeply, knowing she spoke sincerely. Each moment spent together was precious, strengthening their bond even further. As weeks passed, the city became more familiar, each street and building holding memories of shared experiences. John's interactions with the Xylorans became effortless, filled with mutual respect and friendship. One day, an unexpected message arrived from Earth requesting John's return. The message explained his research was invaluable, and they wished for him to continue working with the original team. John felt conflicted, torn between his past life and the new one he had created on Xylora. He discussed the message with Alara that evening, sitting together quietly in their home. "Do you want to go back?" she asked gently, her voice calm, but her eyes filled with emotion. John shook his head firmly. "No, my place is here with you. Earth is my past, but you and Xylora are my future." Alara smiled warmly, relief and happiness evident in her expression. "Then we will remain here, building our lives together." John knew his decision was the right one, feeling deep peace and happiness. He sent a polite reply to Earth, explaining his choice clearly. The response was understanding and respectful, wishing him happiness and success. Life continued joyfully on Xylora, each day bringing new discoveries and moments of happiness. John and Alara became an integral part of their community, helping others, sharing knowledge, and spreading compassion. Their marriage continued to flourish, growing stronger with every shared experience. John never stopped feeling grateful for Alara, her love, and the extraordinary life they had created together. One clear evening, John and Alara returned to the place they had first met. The marketplace was quiet, softly lit by gentle lights. John took Alara's hands gently, looking deeply into her eyes. "Do you remember that day?" he asked warmly. "Of course," Alara replied softly, smiling. "I knew from that moment that our lives would be forever connected." "It was the best day of my life," John confessed sincerely. "I cannot imagine my life without you." Alara touched his face gently, her expression filled with love. "And I cannot imagine mine without you." They embraced warmly, standing quietly together beneath the stars. John felt an immense sense of peace and contentment, knowing he had found his true home and the love of his life. As they walked back home, hand in hand, John felt deeply grateful for the journey he had taken, the challenges he had overcome, and the happiness he had found. Each step forward was filled with promise and joy, guided by love, empathy, and unity. Time passed peacefully on Xylora, and John felt deeply happy living with Alara. They spent their days exploring, learning, and helping others. Each new day brought fresh experiences, making their bond stronger. One morning, as the golden sun rose, gently, John received an urgent message from the council requesting a meeting. Concerned, he and Alara quickly made their way to the council chamber. The elders greeted them warmly but with serious expressions. "We have troubling news," the senior elder began slowly. "Scouts report that an unknown group has landed on Xylora's far side. We are unsure of their intentions and need your help." John glanced at Alara, both feeling a mix of worry and determination. "We will do whatever we can," John assured them firmly. The elder nodded gratefully. "We trust your judgment and courage, John. Please find out what you can." After preparing quickly, John and Alara set off with a small team to investigate. They traveled swiftly, crossing beautiful landscapes until they reached the location. From a distance, they saw a spaceship unlike any John had seen before, sleek and silent. Approaching cautiously, they noticed movement near the ship. Several unfamiliar beings emerged, looking around curiously. Their appearances were striking, with pale blue skin and bright silver eyes. John stepped forward carefully, signaling peace. "Greetings," John spoke calmly, his voice steady. "We come peacefully. Who are you, and what brings you to Xylora?" The newcomers paused, clearly surprised but unthreatened. One stepped forward, her movements graceful and confident. "We are travelers from the planet Thalos," she explained gently. Our ship was damaged, and we landed here seeking help. John relaxed slightly, sensing no threat. You are welcome here, he reassured them warmly. We will help repair your ship and provide whatever assistance you need. Relief filled the newcomers' expressions. Thank you, their leader replied sincerely. My name is Lyanna. I am John, and this is Alara, John introduced politely. We represent the people of Zilora. Alara stepped forward, smiling gently. Please, let us help. Working together, they quickly assessed the damage to the Thelosian ship. John used his knowledge of technology and repair, alongside Alara's understanding of Xyloran resources, to guide the repairs. While working closely with Lyanna and her people, John noticed the kindness and curiosity they displayed. They asked many questions about Xylora, its culture, and people. John answered honestly, sharing their traditions and experiences openly. One evening, as they rested from their repairs, Lyanna approached John quietly. Your relationship with Alara is fascinating, she said thoughtfully. Your union is a powerful symbol of unity. John smiled warmly, glancing affectionately at Alara. It has brought us happiness and strength. Lyanna nodded thoughtfully. We seek similar unity among our people, but have struggled with deep divisions. Perhaps your example can help us. John listened carefully, feeling empathy for their struggles. Unity takes patience and understanding, he explained gently. Respecting differences and working toward common goals is essential. Lyanna agreed softly. Perhaps we can learn much from your example. Over the next days, repairs progressed rapidly. Friendship grew between the Xylorans and Thelosians, bringing warmth and cooperation. John and Alara saw firsthand the power of compassion and openness in bridging gaps between different peoples. When the ship was finally ready, Lyanna expressed deep gratitude. Your kindness and wisdom have touched us, she told John and Alara warmly. We will carry your lessons back to our home, hoping to create lasting peace. You will always be welcome here, John assured her sincerely. We wish you a safe journey. Lyanna and her people departed, leaving behind new friendships and hope for future relations. John and Alara returned home, feeling deeply satisfied with the peaceful resolution. Days later, the council summoned them again. Your actions have greatly honored us, the senior elder praised warmly. The compassion and diplomacy you demonstrated have strengthened our community and opened new possibilities. John smiled, feeling deeply humbled. We are proud to represent Zilora. As life continued, news arrived from Thelos. Lyanna shared their progress in fostering unity among her people. Her messages expressed deep appreciation for John and Alara's influence, noting the positive changes growing steadily. John felt immense pride in their achievements, recognizing how their bond had become a beacon of hope and peace. Together, they continued supporting others, strengthening their community, and exploring the beautiful world around them. One evening, while walking beneath the stars, John turned thoughtfully to Alara. When I first came here, I could never have imagined how my life would unfold. Now, I see clearly the purpose and happiness we have found. Alara smiled gently, holding his hand tightly. Together, we have created something beautiful and meaningful. Our lives touch others positively. John nodded warmly, feeling deeply content. And we will continue doing so, facing every new challenge with courage and compassion. Months turned into years, bringing many new experiences and opportunities. John and Alara became symbols of unity and understanding, their influence reaching far beyond Zilora. Their bond remained strong, deepening through every shared adventure and quiet moment. One quiet afternoon, John and Alara received visitors from Earth, a diplomatic team seeking peaceful relations. John warmly welcomed his fellow humans, excited to share the beauty and wisdom of his adopted world. As they guided the visitors around Zilora, John shared stories of his experiences, highlighting the value of empathy, patience, and open-mindedness. The human diplomats listened carefully, inspired by John's example and the vibrant compassionate society he and Alara had helped shape. Before leaving, the diplomats expressed sincere gratitude. Your life here has shown us the power of unity and understanding, they told John warmly. We hope to carry your wisdom back to Earth. John felt proud yet humble, recognizing the impact of his choices and relationships. As the visitors departed, John turned to Alara, smiling warmly. Our journey has come full circle, he reflected thoughtfully. We have bridged worlds, built friendships, and created lasting peace. Alara nodded softly, her expression filled with love. Together, we have shown others the beauty of unity and compassion. Our story continues, filled with promise and hope. Standing together beneath the gentle glow of Zylora's sky, John felt a profound sense of happiness and purpose. His life with Alara had grown into something remarkable, touching lives and spreading warmth throughout the galaxy. Their love and unity had become a guiding light, inspiring others to seek peace and understanding. As they walked home hand in hand, John knew their journey was far from over. Each new day would bring fresh opportunities to share their wisdom, strengthen bonds, and build a future filled with harmony and compassion. Life on Zalora continued peacefully, and John and Alara's bond only grew stronger. Their days were filled with purpose and joy as they continued to help their community and share their experiences with others. One morning, a new challenge arrived, in the form of a message from a neighboring planet, Orenthia. The message explained that Orenthia faced severe environmental problems, and they desperately needed assistance. Having heard about John and Alara's successful diplomacy and compassion, the Orenthians requested their help specifically. John and Alara quickly agreed, eager to offer their support. After discussing the matter with the council, they prepared for the journey. The elders expressed pride and gratitude, providing a swift and comfortable spaceship for their trip dock. As their ship approached Orenthia, John observed the planet carefully. It looked troubled, with large areas clearly suffering from damage and neglect. Alara squeezed John's hand gently, her eyes filled with concern and determination. They landed carefully and were greeted warmly by the Orenthian leaders. The people were clearly struggling, their faces filled with worry but hopeful at seeing John and Alara arrive. We are so grateful you have come, said a young leader named Kale. His bright purple eyes reflected both relief and urgency. Our planet's ecosystems are failing rapidly. We need your guidance. John and Alara immediately began assessing the situation. The problems were extensive, caused by poor resource management and environmental neglect. Forests were disappearing, water sources drying up, and wildlife suffering badly. We must act quickly, John explained gently but firmly. But it's important we all work together. This requires cooperation and unity. Alara stepped forward, her presence calm and reassuring. Together, we can find a solution. We have faced similar challenges and succeeded by working as one. The Orenthian leaders agreed eagerly, ready to follow John and Alara's guidance. They quickly formed teams, each addressing different aspects of the environmental crisis. John took charge of restoring damaged ecosystems, guiding the teams in planting trees, cleaning waterways, and protecting wildlife habitats. Alara worked closely with local communities, helping them understand sustainable living and careful resource management. Days turned into weeks, filled with hard but rewarding work. John admired the Orenthians' dedication and willingness to learn, inspired by their progress and enthusiasm. Each day, they saw improvements, filling the communities with renewed hope and confidence. One evening, John and Alara joined Kale and other leaders for a meeting to review their progress. The atmosphere was hopeful yet serious. We have made excellent progress, John noted encouragingly. But there is still much to do. Sustainability must become a way of life for your people. Kale nodded thoughtfully. Your leadership has shown us the importance of caring for our world. We have learned greatly from your example. Alara smiled warmly. Your willingness to change and adapt has made all the difference. Continue this path, and Orenthia will thrive again. Their words deeply touched the Orenthians, strengthening their resolve to rebuild and protect their planet. In the following days, the communities embraced sustainability wholeheartedly. They planted more trees, restored waterways, and carefully managed their resources. Each successful project boosted morale and fostered greater unity among the Orenthian people. One afternoon, while John was working alongside a group planting new trees, he noticed an elderly Orenthian woman quietly watching from a distance. Approaching her gently, he greeted her warmly. "I have seen the good you've brought," she said softly, her voice filled with gratitude. "You and Alara have given us hope." John smiled gently, touched by her sincerity. "Your people's strength and unity have made all the difference. We are simply guides, but your commitment brings real change." The woman nodded, smiling softly. "Still, without your guidance, we might not have found our way. Thank you." John returned to his work, deeply moved and motivated by her words. Each day, they saw more of Orenthia restored, vibrant life returning to previously damaged areas. Finally, after weeks of dedicated effort, significant improvements were evident everywhere. Forests grew lush again, rivers ran clear, and wildlife began returning. The Orenthian people celebrated joyfully, grateful for their new future. As John and Alara prepared to return to Gilora, Kale approached them warmly. "You have given Orenthia a second chance. We promise to honor your teachings and protect our world." John smiled warmly. "We believe in you and your people, Kale. Together, you have created something wonderful." Alara hugged Kale gently. "Your unity and determination will always guide you forward. Continue this path, and your future is bright." They departed Orenthia, deeply satisfied with their achievements. Returning home, they shared their experiences with the council, who listened proudly. "You have once again brought honor to Xylora," the senior elder praised warmly. "Your compassion and leadership continue to inspire others." John and Alara smiled humbly, feeling deeply grateful for their opportunities to help others. Life returned to normal on Xylora. Yet John and Alara continued sharing their experiences with those around them. Their bond, stronger than ever, reflected their shared purpose and commitment to unity and compassion. One peaceful evening, sitting together beneath the stars, John reflected thoughtfully. "Every challenge we face has brought us closer and made us stronger. I never imagined such happiness was possible." Alara leaned against him gently, smiling softly. "Together, we have accomplished amazing things. Our journey has been filled with purpose and joy." John nodded warmly, holding her close. "I can't wait to see what the future holds for us. Whatever it brings, we will face it together." Alara promised softly, her eyes bright with love and certainty. John knew her words were true, feeling profound peace and happiness. Their lives, shaped by unity, compassion, and understanding, would always continue positively guiding others toward brighter futures. Each new challenge, faced hand in hand, brought deeper meaning and fulfillment to their remarkable journey together.